2, 1, live.
And welcome everybody to This Is Difficult, the world-renowned cooking show seen from around the globe. I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
What was it last time? Oh, we had no introduction. Yeah.
No introduction. Yeah.
I like cooking show. We could do a This Is Difficult cooking show.
Iron Chef, this is the podcast edition. Welcome to This Is Difficult, the podcast where we talk about video game and video game related subject matter. We've had a lot of it going on lately with E3 and all that shit. We're kind of coming off the cuff right now, back to regular video game life. And here to talk about more is Paul, passing the ball. Here we go.
Hey, what's up, guys?
I forgot to introduce us. Oh, yeah. So I'm Lord Yeshua. My name is Josh. I did that last week, too, or one of the weeks.
Okay.
We got Paul over here. We're on his channel, Ryugami-san, and Zach had another letdown over there. And we are the crew. Now the ball to Paul. Here it goes. Boing.
Okay.
Got it. What was it, medicine ball? Jesus.
Yeah, it was a big ball.
We're gonna actually get I'll start. Josh starts with a tennis ball, and then Paul just takes a medicine ball. I've got a ping pong ball over here.
Yeah. A bowling ball.
That'd be awesome.
No. What you guys been up to? Playing good games recently?
I did.
You did?
Oh,
What'd you play, Josh?
I did. I'll kick it off because I got a good one. Okay. I played a lot of Mario Galaxy because I've been fell back into that game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Mario Galaxy on the Switch. The controls are fine-tuned. It's beautiful. I don't know if you guys want to review on it at some point.
Sure.
But yeah, why not?
Yep.
I could obviously do it now because I've beaten it before. But I'm going to 100% it. It's
Are you
really
going to stream any of it?
Oh man, I haven't streamed in so long. What is wrong with me? I want to stream tonight, but I don't know because my buddy just texted me. He wants to come over now. I'm like, I really want to stream Mario Golf. That's the next game I played.
Mm-hmm.
Just to do it for fun.
Sure.
But yeah, I'll stream something this week. Yeah, I have the next 4 days off, so if I don't stream, it's absolutely laziness.
Yeah.
Mario Golf.
I just subbed to you, by the way.
What? Thanks, dude. Wow, I love money.
I subbed to you so I could get your content without commercials so we could play it on the podcast.
Oh my god, that's funny as shit.
And then there wasn't any
and then I couldn't find any content.
Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. That's so funny. Let's see. Okay, building up to Mario though, or Mario Golf. So Mario Galaxy, amazing game. I'm trying to 100% it. It's grueling, but it's actually pretty beautiful. There's a lot of stars that I don't even remember at all. So this is kind of like a new game. Let's see. I swear I played something else aside from Mario Golf. I really don't remember now.
Mario Galaxy, Mario Golf.
I was diving into the old stuff, Cuphead, and a few other old games. I'm really bad at Cuphead now. Apparently, it's really easy to get bad at that game again. Fuck. Mario Golf. Okay, so I literally biked. I was at work and I biked to GameStop on my break on Friday because I always get Mario games on day one. It's just a thing for me. I have to get Mario games on launch day. It poured on me. I biked in the rain. It was fucking terrible. As soon as I got back to work, it stopped raining.
Nice.
Anyway,
Classic.
Mario Golf is very fun. I will say I'm not going to review it right now, obviously, because I haven't beaten the story mode and all that stuff. But this is a game that I've had a lot of my friends say, I don't like this game. It's not as good as Toadstool Tour. It's just not there for me. And I was like, did you get past the tutorial section? And they say, no, it was really grueling right off the bat. So one thing I will say about this game, don't give up. There's a massive tutorial aspect to this game because there are so many fine-tuned, actual golf, lingo and things you have to learn and all these crazy fine techniques. So if I had to say anything about the game, it's that keep playing it. There's literally a 2+ hour tutorial and I played it's big and you could skip it all if you know how to play. But at first, my first round, I played online and I was like, this doesn't feel like Toadstool Tour. I have to do the tutorial section. And it just was so different to me. After the tutorial section, I fucking love this game so much. It is amazing. We'll get a full review soon, but that's my one thing is, hi, what's up? Is make sure you play the game till you know what you're doing, because I think a big aspect of this game that people are going to dislike is not knowing what's going on, because it is very much like Mario Tennis, even more so though, where the new Mario Tennis was you're expecting the one from the GameCube where you just press the A button a bunch of times and you have a power up, but there was more fine-tuned mechanics. This one is the most fine-tuned mechanics out of any Mario game ever made, in my opinion, at least Mario sports game. And now we finally have all the sports games except for baseball and soccer. I only care about golf, cards.
Give me Mario Hockey.
Yeah,
Come
hockey,
on.
dude.
That'd be dope. I'd be into that.
Give me NHL 94 with Mario and I'm happy.
So back in the day, there
Wayne
was a Mario
Gretzky's
Party.
3D Hockey 98
there was a Mario
with
Party
Mario.
mini game. There was a mini game for hockey. It was in Mario Party, and I used to play that the shit out of that just over and over that mini game. It was so fun.
Great.
But yeah, so in my opinion, this is a really good Mario game. Golf, whatever, you know, if you're not into golf, obviously you're not going to fucking like this. But the speed golf is awesome. There's a ton of, I want to review it in full later.
I'm really excited about the speed golf. I'm not really a golf guy, but ironically, like I've always liked golf video games a little bit, not like a ton.
Yeah.
But one of the first games I ever played was like this little handheld LCD golf game that my dad had. And I was super into it. And there was also God, what was his name? Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson.
Or Jack Nicholson.
No, that's an actor. Jack Nicklaus?
Jack Nicklaus.
Like,
Jack
what?
Nicklaus. Golf.
Jack Nicholson's the Golf The Shining.
Yeah,
edition.
The Shining. No, it was like a DOS game back in the day, like super old.
I had that.
And it was a lot of fun. Used to play a lot of that.
Okay.
So
I'm glad games are new because
but the
so
thing I'm most excited about though is the speed golf, and it has nothing to do with enjoying golf. It has to do with enjoying an old Sinbad movie called House Guest. If you've never seen this movie, check it out. It's fucking rad. It's absolutely really hilarious. And that's where the concept of speed golf comes from, is that movie. So definitely check that movie out.
I will say the speed golf does not disappoint. The speed golf is so fucking fun. Also, the online is really fun. I'm not gonna lie. But go ahead, yeah.
So golf games to me have always really boiled down to like there's two bars, one going up the side for your angle and one going down the bottom.
100%.
And try to nail it in the middle. And I love that. That's fine. It's just like a little button press and it does the thing. But I've just had this idea. Did you know that Alice Cooper is a professional golfer?
Yeah, I did know that.
World-ranked professional golf player.
Damn, that's amazing.
Yeah. I did know that. Dude, Alice Cooper golf? That'd be rad.
That'd be a sick game.
Play that so fast.
And it has like metal in it. Like
Nightmare is the soundtrack.
Yes. Oh, that'd be cool.
That is so funny.
I'd be into that. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. I would play that. Yeah. I will say, so if we're talking about the whole bar meter and whatnot, again, there's a huge tutorial section for this game. This is the first golf game I've played that has captivated me by the mechanics. Like Toadstool Tour is so easy. This is the one I keep referencing because in my opinion, it's the second best. It's the other best Mario Golf game. Or honestly, I don't like real life golf games like Tiger Woods and shit. I think the Mario Golf series are better. Straight up.
Yeah, of course.
They're more entertaining.
Way more fun.
They're easier to manage. And this one has the best mechanics, I think. So like not only speed golf, but it's not just a bar anymore. There's like so many different ways, so many different types of things. Like each character can do their own type of like slices and what I don't even know how, like what I'm saying, but like you know what I mean? Like each character has different stats in different ways, and it's really awesome. Also, the one-player mode, it kind of lets you like Destiny style build up your own guy, and you can even use your own guy in online matches. Or you can, but you can like it's like Mario Kart where you can like join a group for anything. You can be like me's only, or you can be like everyone can only play as these characters, or like these types of golf, no speed golf, like etc. Like whatever you want, you can play by those rules. So just a mini review right there. It's really good. Lots of depth to it, and know that you might not enjoy it right off the bat because there is quite a bit of learning, a large learning curve, and even as a gaming golf fan, whatever the fuck that is, it took me quite a bit. It took me literally like 3 hours before I was like really comfortable. I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna play online and stuff. And won my first game online. Woo-hoo!
Nice. Yeah, it was probably against a 10-year-old.
Really awesome.
I'm just kidding.
3 10-year-olds.
Hey, that's like 30.
Actually, 2 10-year-olds and a computer. I forgot about that because someone bailed out. So one computer who almost won actually.
So 25 then.
Yeah, 25 is fair because like computer's half a person.
Yep.
Exactly. But that's everything I've played this week. I do want to stream a little more, but man, it's just like life has been really busy, and I don't know. You know how it is.
Sure.
Like I said, 4 days off coming up. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be
nice.
Streaming. Yeah,
Zach, what'd you play?
Not a whole lot. I played a little bit more Metroid, and NES Metroid. Just plodding my way through it. I love those games.
So much better with the save states too. Can I say like without the save states, I don't even think that's playable. Like it's grueling.
I haven't got far enough into it yet that I really need them, but I know I will.
Yeah.
And I'm just playing it like in between TV shows or whatever. Like I'm just playing for a couple minutes here or there. And then Alex and I finally got back to Gears Tactics again.
Nice.
And, oh my God, we had a good time.
Is it great?
We're far enough into it now that like I was saying to Chamali earlier, like I could review it. It's really just down to story at this point. We've got all the mechanics. We've unlocked most of the guns. We just we're in the middle of a fight with some boom shots, which are particularly nasty, but if you kill them, they drop their gun, and then you get to be particularly nasty right back.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So
Like
it's and we just brought down the first boss, which felt really good. It took us like 4 tries, but it's nice to, and shout out to Colin because he told us, he taught us how to do it on Parsec. It's really nice to play that game with more than one person, because it would definitely not be anywhere near as fun or entertaining without basically you've got a squad of 4. We got two and two, and it works really, really
That's
nicely.
awesome.
It cooperates very, very, very well with Parsec. And
That's
Alex
crazy.
finally got a good camera and a good headset, so he can actually hear what's going on. So that was really good too.
Parsec is
Other than
amazing.
that, I played a few minutes of Mega Man. Honestly, because I dropped my Super Nintendo and I wanted to make sure it was still working.
Oh no.
Yeah,
My cat knocked it off. It sits on the back of the couch
sure.
because it's plugged into the projector, and my cat knocked it over.
Mm.
So I was like, I should probably turn that on. So yeah, I played.
Probably just play for a few hours to see.
Yeah.
I played, yeah, exactly. I played
few hours
for about an
on
hour. I played
Quick test.
the intro mission and Chill Penguin,
Nice.
and that's about as far as I can get in one sitting. Just if,
Wait,
if
which
I'm
Mega
just-
Man is on the Super?
Mega Man X.
Mega Man X and Mega Man 7. It's at my feet.
Yeah,
I
Mega
just
Man-
barely can't see it. I think it's 7.
Yeah,
It's either
7
6 or
and like
It's
Rockman and
7 by the time the
Wait, did-
Super
And
came
Rockman
out.
and Bass, yeah.
yeah. Did
Jesus Christ, there were 7 Mega Mans by the 1992.
did Rockman and Bass come out on?
Rockman and Bass was late Super Nintendo.
Okay, well, I wasn't sure if it came out in English on Super Nintendo
I feel like
I
that's
don't
the
know.
console I should debut my
That's-
because
Mega
we all
Man
refer to it
palette
as Rockman and Bass, the Japanese name, or it'd be Mega
Right.
Man and Bass.
Yeah.
I feel like it did.
But
I
I'm
feel
really
like
excited.
wasn't there like a 3-pack or something like that it
There
came
is.
out
It's
on?
called the Wily Wars. Actually, I was just about to talk about.
Okay.
Limited Run Games is producing an SNES cart for the first time ever.
What?
Mega Man
No,
Wily
no.
Wars is
Wily
coming to
Wars
the USA.
was a
What?
remake of
It's
1 or
1, 2,
2.
and 3 with the graphics of 6. Or
And it
7,
came out.
sorry.
It was on the
Genesis.
Sega Genesis.
Oh
yeah.
wow.
it's on
Dude, what's
Genesis.
stopping them from doing this more? Like literally, they
I don't
still
know,
make
man.
GameCube controllers. They're remaking SNES cartridges all of a sudden now. Fucking do it more. Literally, just
Yeah.
be like, here's a new
Yeah.
Super Nintendo game. All of a sudden, like I will fucking buy it. Like,
Yeah,
oh hey,
no,
N64, I got a
I
new game.
windmill slammed that as
Oh
soon as
my
I saw
God.
that Limited Run Games was doing Wily Wars. I'm like, yes, get in my
Oh,
cart.
that's
I don't
godly.
care what it was, like $65. It was not expensive.
A steal, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to.
That's
That's one of the ones that I will
incredible.
bring to stream for a one-off, just to be like, look at this thing I have.
That's amazing. It's like a
You know,
collectible, yeah. At that point,
Yeah.
Maybe-
There's a couple of games coming out. Metroid Dread. Obviously, I'm gonna want to play that on
Dude,
my own.
Dread,
But
we're
I will
all-
bring it to stream for one day, just to be like, hey, look at this thing I've got.
Actually, yeah, that's a game that I, now that you mention it, might not be a great stream game because it is a Metroidvania. But like,
Right.
I don't think I just bear with me. The Switch has a tendency to not necessarily be the hardest games. Like a lot of the games that are Switch exclusives, like aren't grueling. Like we got like some hard stars in Mario Odyssey. Like some of Breath of the Wild is really hard, but like not really.
What game
And,
are we
like, so
saying you don't want to stream?
I'm saying
Meanwhile, we've got
so
this.
Metroid Dread. Oh yeah, it's super fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So, like
That
Metroid
game is
Dread.
hard.
Yeah, that game.
Metroid Dread will probably be very Metroidvania-y, but probably really easy. Like it's gonna be.
I disagree with that
You
wholeheartedly.
think it's gonna be crazy hard?
I don't think
I
it's
think
gonna be
it's gonna be tough.
crazy hard. But have you played the remake of Metroid 2 on the
Is it
3DS?
insane? No.
It ain't fucking easy. It's
Well,
it's
'cause
pretty
it's
difficult.
Metroid 1. It's Metroid 2 remake,
Metroid
which is a
2.
hard game.
Metroid 2's not hard. Come on.
Well, it's just clunky.
Come
Not
on.
easy.
It's not easy, but it's
Yeah.
not hard. It's not
not
like it's
Metroid
not
1.
Super Metroid hard.
Super Metroid is the hardest, dude, in my opinion. At
Really?
least. Like,
And I don't even think
well,
Super Metroid's that hard.
Metroid 1 is like Metroid 1, the remake is not as crazy because you know what's going on. The original is harder just based on like how clunky it is, I feel
Yeah.
like. And like no save states. In the actual original, it's like holy
Yeah.
fuck, we're fucked.
So
But
the same people that made the Return or
Dread.
Samus Returns
Right.
are making Dread.
yeah.
So
that's
I don't
awesome.
think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be a piece of cake. I think it's
I'm gonna
gonna.
get a 3DS emulator for that.
Yeah. It's yeah, definitely worth checking out. I've got it. It's a badass game.
Nice.
But
Like I said, though, I will definitely be bringing my Metroid Dread to stream for one night at least. Just to be like, hey, look at this thing. It's here. I've got it. Oh my god.
Can it just be out
And then
yet?
I'll do
Fuck.
most of it off stream because
Most
that's just
anticipated
the way
game
I
of the
wanna play
year,
game.
easily.
Oh yeah. Oh,
what else
without
came
a
out this
question.
year? No, that's it.
Not a whole lot.
Well, 3D World. 3D World's pretty goddamn good.
That's true.
Pretty
I mean,
good.
for
Bowser's
me,
Fury-
Arkham Horror Mother's Embrace, but that was
another good. I think we can all agree Metroid Dread is in the top 5 most anticipated games of the year.
Yeah.
We'll give it that.
Sure. Yeah, I'll give it that.
I'll give it that.
I'll give it
What'd
that.
you play? Who
Paul,
didn't
what did you
talk?
play?
Paul, talk.
I played some video games, boys. I played some more Ratchet and Clank Rift
Oh, how
Apart.
was it?
I'm
Incredible.
really loving this game. I'm really, really loving it. I can't wait to do a review. It is there are some complaints I have about it though.
Uh-oh.
Like it's bizarre. I'll just give you one little, and this is kind of the main one. I probably should save it for the review, but I'm gonna throw it out there right now. My biggest complaint is, despite the immense amount of polish they put into the look of the game, there's some mechanical aspects of the game that feel really unpolished, feel like
That's not good.
early gen
that.
like
Ugh, I hate that.
platformer, and it's like weird that's I feel like
That
the
guy.
last one did actually better at some of like the platform aspects, which is fucking weird. But other than that, it's rad. It's absolutely a beautiful game. It's super fun. The writing's hilarious. The characters are really cool. A lot of good things to say about it. So I'm really enjoying that. I also played some more Neo 2 yesterday on Samurai Saturday. Mostly because I ran out of shit to play for Samurai Saturday, or I just didn't have anything lined up. But also because I'm kind of in the process of doing the review for that. Even though I finished the main game, I wanted to do some of the DLC for it, or most of, if not all of the DLC for it before we did the proper review. So played some of
Nice.
that. Which I love that game, by the way. If that game had actually come out this year, it'd be my game of the year.
Damn.
But it didn't actually come out this year. It came out this year on PC, but that doesn't really count.
They had to compete with Ghost last year.
Yeah. Well, and I think it was 2 years ago or a year and a half ago that it came out on PlayStation
Really?
originally. I don't know when the hell it came out. I think it came out in 2019.
I didn't realize it was that old.
PlayStation.
Damn.
Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, regardless, dope fucking game. It's really, really good. I love it. We'll talk about that more on the review as well. But then I also, you mentioned, playing some Metroid, or being interested in Metroid. We got the Metroid Dread announcement, and I got
So
hyped
good.
about Metroid. So
so hyped
I
right
booted
now.
up the Game Boy Advance, and I started playing Metroid Zero Mission, and I actually
Nice.
beat the entire Metroid 1 section of Zero Mission. So I'm in kind of like the
Extra.
the extra stuff where you're
Nice.
you lose the suit and you're doing the stealth stuff with Samus and all that, and that's really cool. So I'm almost done. Almost 100% on that game.
Yeah.
And after that I'm gonna do Metroid 2, which I don't know what version of Metroid 2 I'm gonna do, because
Old
there's-
version.
Old version.
I'm
Yeah,
leaning towards
do
the
it.
old version, and here's
Yes.
why. It's actually mostly because of a fucking YouTube video I watched. But they really pointed out there's two remakes of Metroid 2, and they're both very good. One of
No,
them
I didn't
is
know that.
one of them's a fan-made remake
Oh.
called Another Metroid 2 Remake.
Yep.
And
Real imaginative naming.
yeah, well, and it's in the style of Super Metroid, and
very
it's
cool.
really good. It's really well done. And then there's the official Nintendo remake, which is Metroid: Samus Returns, and that's also really well done. But both of them kind of remove what makes part of what makes Metroid 2 so special, which is a lot of the subtext and the ambiance and just even changing some of the music and some of the backgrounds that that were in the original, even though the original doesn't play as well as these remakes. If you want that feeling that the original that
Game
they
Boy did it,
intended
yeah.
for you to have, you really should play the original. So
It's
I mean,
really
I've got a
nice.
million copies of that, including my original copy. But I've got it digital on the 3DS as well.
That's awesome.
So I'll probably play through that. Again,
Make me wanna
probably
play
on the
Super.
Game Boy
Ooh.
Advance because I've got the backlit screen on there. So
Nice.
and then yeah, like my plan is to just go through all of them leading up to
The Dread,
to
yeah.
Dread. So
Isn't it nice that they're all good games? It's
Yeah.
like
So good. And
it's
that's,
very rare that that's a thing in a franchise. Like every single one is good. We're not talking about Other M, but like every single other game is
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, Other M probably
I
would have
never
been
played
good.
it. I'm sure it's fine, right? I never even played it.
No, here's the thing, and this is the problem, and we can actually talk about this as part of one of our subjects tonight is voice acting in gaming. But part of what ruins Other M is not the gameplay at all, but it's the voiceover and the story that they
Samus talks?
injected into it. It's pretty gross. Yeah, everyone talks.
And
yeah.
gross.
Yeah, and Samus is like a weird. She sounds super robotic and like unemotional, but like she's having like weird like lady problems with like her commanding officer Adam, who is
not a Samus thing.
If people don't know, Adam is the
Your brother.
AI in
Oh, that's right. In
in
Prime.
Fusion and in Prime. And I guess like the AI was modeled after this like commanding officer that she had, and like it's just fucking weird. Like it's a
I
weird
don't like
game.
that. Samus is supposed to be cold and calculated. Like there's nothing.
Yeah,
There's no heart
just
to her.
literal nothing.
Well, there's some heart with the baby Metroid.
But well, and that's what's weird is
That's
because
it,
her
yeah.
voice is cold and calculate, or like cold, like robotic cold, but she's talking about all this weird emotional shit, and it just so doesn't fit the character at all. Yeah, but like the gameplay in Other M is cool. You know,
Is it?
like,
I never even saw it. What is it like? Is it free range or is it side scroll?
it's like it's
first
third
person.
person. It's third
It's third
person.
person, yeah.
Which I don't think is a bad like if you were to do like the evolution of like the mainline games and take it away from the 2D, which I don't think you should do, but if you were going to, I think
Yeah.
third person would make the most sense. But you'd have to do it right and not do what they did with Other M.
I think it was
So I
really
looked up-
smart to do it the way Prime did it.
Yeah.
That first person, but like make it feel like a Metroidvania still.
Sure, yeah.
I looked up the actress who played Samus in Other M.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to bring her up in the main topic here.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
It's actually an interesting dive.
Wait,
Yeah.
by the way, so what's her face? You probably heard this rumor already, but it's not even rumor. It's like actually happened. What's her face who played Captain America? Nope, wrong character. Captain Marvel.
Brie Larson.
She literally said she wants to play Samus. She like, without being questioned, says, "I want a Metroid movie and I want to play Samus."
I would not
And
like
almost
that.
Slit my throat when I heard this.
You know
You're
who
not
I,
allowed to do that.
you know
It
who I
brings
wouldn't
it
mind
brings
playing
it up-
Samus?
It brings the dust off of the idea of a Metroid movie, at least. I don't
Homegirl
want to do
that played in Battlestar
It's gotta be-
Galactica. What's her name?
Oh, that'd be a good one.
She was God.
I know you're talking about. I don't know her name.
Yeah, you know
though.
what I'm talking about. The blonde lady.
Katie
Katie
Sackhoff.
Sack.
Yeah, Katie Sackhoff. Katie Sackhoff. I think she'd
Bo-Katan.
be. I think she'd be good if they made
Yeah.
it right now. I think if
Yeah.
they made it right now,
Yes.
she'd be good. If
Yeah.
they wait too
Really
long,
good.
she's getting a
Yeah.
little older.
Let's-
I don't
Brie
know.
Larson is
Let's
such a
hold
bad
this over
choice.
though. Let's
We
hold
don't
this over
want
and save
any-
this for the main topic because Josh, you've got a thing you want to talk
Oh
about.
yeah, I got
Okay.
a thing I love talking about.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
lead into the next topic.
Lead into the thing.
Gwendolyn Christie. No.
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 Nope.
Although
Nope.
personality wise, we're closer to the mark there, but there is an aesthetic to Samus as well.
Yeah.
I would rather her be like kind of older and look like a bitch than be like super hot and not like fit the role at all. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
we
Yeah.
get Samus is attractive, we get it. But
Yeah.
like I would much rather the character feel like Samus than just
Mhm.
be a hot girl. Like that just doesn't
Yeah.
work for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, and that's why I
Anyway,
think
yeah.
Katie Sackhoff's so good because she's kind of both.
She's kind
And-
of both. She's like kind of good looking, but
Yeah.
also like kind of hardcore.
Starbuck. That's the name of the character in Battlestar.
There you go.
Never
Yeah.
even.
But
So
Gwendolyn
Josh,
Christie, I could not get
you
down
know
on
something-
like for the Gwendolyn Christie is.
Yeah.
To me, it just doesn't fit. I don't know. Not that she's bad. I like her as an actress. I just don't think it
Always be
fits.
Brad.
Samus. Okay, so our first
Yes.
topic of the night, we kind of wanted to do like something a little bit different and talk about mods in classic games, specifically co-op mods. And Josh is kind of going to lead this segment because he's definitely got the most experience. This is one of his favorite things. So I'll kick it over to Josh, and you can take it from here and tell us about what you've been doing and the games you've been playing, like in this style, and how it changes like these classic experiences.
So I'm just gonna rattle off words. Here we go. This is what I'm here for. I didn't even text you about this. He knew we were doing it. So Colin there and I have been part of a modding community for quite some time. For those of you who don't know what modding is, you basically, and I'm not condoning this necessarily because obviously, I don't know if this is technically illegal even. It's
actually,
like
hold on. I can do this.
There's definite gray areas here.
Arnoff, write us a disclaimer, will you?
Yeah, Arn, can we get a quick disclaimer? I think if you own the game and stuff.
So I've owned all the games,
and you're not doing it for resale or profit.
Yeah, that's the thing. None of this is for resale at all. Okay, so for people that don't know, you take a regular game, and to mod it is basically to alter the code in some way, to basically change an aspect. Like, for example, give yourself like infinite ammo, infinite health. Like, you do all sorts of stuff that breaks the game, like Fly and GoldenEye, or like
Mario, there's been soft modding in video games as long as we've all been gaming with like the Game Genie and the Game Shark and things like that. Yeah,
exactly. This big thing, though,
if I recall correctly, were like left behind, or
a lot of stuff is left in the code. Yes,
a
lot of things were like in the code, like a fucking Arwing and Ocarina of Time and shit that people dig into these games. It's pretty amazing. People dig into these games and they take the code and reveal it and they allow it to be like done. So a lot of this is like you're saying, soft mods that actually exist inside the game, and people are digging into this code for years. Ocarina of Time and Mario 64 are really huge examples of this. Two of the most modded games of all fucking time, and most hacked, dug through, glitched out, everything games. These games seem to be in seconds, whatever, minutes, but like totally exploited. And people are still finding code that they don't understand in it, and they're still exploiting further. So modding is so deep. One game could be done for like decades of modding, and it is just so beautiful what you can actually do. Colin and I, mostly Colin, discovered this through a community, the Lost Mods. We love these guys. Amazing, all amazing dudes. And basically, they specialize in co-op modding single-player games. So what this means, this is extremely exciting for me. I love Ocarina of Time, right? Super Mario 64, great games. Banjo-Kazooie, fantastic. But how much better would these games be if you could play with the buddy? Not only that, but what if you could play online with a buddy? Not only that, what if you could put like 10 people in the same fucking server like GTA and fucking go get all the jiggies at the same time or whatever, or go to the water temple while I'm in the fire temple, any number of things. So with this mod channel that we found through Discord and all these other awesome dudes, they specialize in digging up this old code and adding two-player cooperative aspects to it. This is extremely fucking hard. This is so fucking hard. So few people are actually achieving it. Like, it is actually insane that we stumbled upon this. But basically what this does is it literally turns your one-player experience into a two-player experience, not like just playing the same game. Like, you're literally on the same file. You're experiencing the same items, same status progression, same everything, except you obviously have your own health and you're kind of like still your own character. So it's not totally synonymous with the other person, but it takes one-player games and perfectly turns them into two-player. In my opinion, this is the most amazing thing to ever happen to gaming, and the producers of games didn't even do this. This is a no-brainer thing that I feel like should just be in games. Who doesn't want to fucking play, especially online, with your friends?
Mm-hmm.
Like, one-player games, I understand there's kind of a premise to them to be like a solo experience. But then again, it's like, it's so much better. Like Banjo-Kazooie, love it. Playing it with Colin online, fucking incredible. So much better, it's not even funny. Banjo-Tooie, a game I hate by myself. Playing it co-op, amazing. This game is beautiful.
Let's focus on that real quick. Tell me like your experience with Banjo-Tooie versus like realizing how much more you enjoyed it and what aspects of it you enjoyed more. Like how having co-op for Banjo-Tooie dramatically changed the experience for you. You know,
Banjo-Tooie is the best example for this because it's literally a game that Colin and I said we hate this game. Like we love Banjo-Kazooie and the Banjo lore, but this game is so grudging. It's just like I fucking dredge the whole way through. It's a game where basically the progression is really strange, in which you have to like go into future levels to be able to get the items in previous levels. And so this continues the entire fucking game until
Kind of
when
Metroidvania-y, actually.
it is actually. Yeah, a lot of people have said it is kind of Metroidvania-y. Until the very last level when you're finally getting all the moves, and then you can finally backtrack through all of them. This is grueling. This is fucking grueling. Now, fast forward. When was that? 2000? Fast forward 21 years to today. Amazing. We can now play it together. Now, when I am fucking unlocking bullshit, Colin is over there getting the jiggies needed for me to unlock this. Or, for example, another mod is giving us all the moves in the game, which defeats the whole going into the future and coming back into the past of the levels thing. You could just beat the levels in its entirety. So, how this affects gameplay. It is very grueling to play some games by yourself. You have no help, and you're doing all of it 100% alone. What do you say? But when you add another person, not only is it more fun because you have a homie there that you can literally just like play, shoot the shit, whatnot, be like, hey, I'm doing this. What are you up to right now? Oh, I'm getting this jiggy. I'm doing this thing, this experience. But they're collecting notes for you, so you don't have to like, get the moves so late. They're unlocking levels for you. All this stuff that just takes away so much pain of the game. I'm gonna specifically talk about the version that we added all the moves to, though. So having all moves, having all multiple players and all this turned it into a new game, in my opinion. Like modding literally has created a better game than the original because now you can cooperatively collect and finish the game in just a more precise way with your friends. And again,
in a more like linear fashion.
In a more linear fashion, yes.
Nice.
Banjo-Tooie is a great example because it's literally a game you cannot do this by yourself. Even if you fucking mod it, to like by yourself, even if you give yourself all moves as a cheat, like it's still going to be a gruel, a fucking dredge, like just getting from point A to point B by yourself. There are so many things that are just not easy by yourself. This is also relatable to like Ocarina of Time and stuff like that. Great games that are easy, but you still have to beat all the temples by yourself. Wouldn't it be great if you could be in the forest temple at the same time your homie's in the fire temple and you're beating the game twice as fast?
Actually,
Incredible.
no, I don't agree with that.
No,
Not with Zelda games.
I'm not saying for your first time or even first 50 times playing the game. And I'm not saying I only want to play it this way from now on. And that's the other thing. These add such a fun cooperative aspect that allow you to like really, it's more of like a party adventure.
I could see if you were just like Ocarina of Time is, I think, a great example. Like I really enjoy experiencing that like in its entirety, right? And that's a very solo experience. It's to me, it's like a personal experience. I think that most Zelda games are, like that very personal. I
still agree.
Yeah. But I could see the argument for like once I've beaten that game several times, like, and I want to go through that experience quicker and experience that with someone else. That would be, that'd be a good way to do it, but certainly not like let's say that Nintendo decided they're going to put co-op in every single game that they ever made going forward. What I would hope that they did would be that they made that feature unlockable only after you've beaten the game twice.
Yeah.
And I will say a lot. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, I watched a segment with you and Colin running through. It was very early game. It might have been the Zora Temple.
Oh, okay.
And you guys were right there together, working like not really working together, but you were in the same room. You could turn around and look at each other, and I'm like, that is so cool to me.
That is what's huge. Like you're physically there with each other, and we've done it multiple ways. So to touch on Paul's point, we've done it where like, how fast can we beat this game? You go that way, I'll go this way. We'll meet at Ganon. Let's see what happens. We usually meet at the Water Temple, actually, because we're and then re-meet at Ganon. Yeah. Regardless, there are other times where
that would make the Water Temple a breeze, honestly.
It is a breeze, except the keys kind of glitch up sometimes. You have to be really careful that when you open a door, the key is actually used and consumed. Otherwise, you can like glitch out the keys and like fuck up the whole game. One time that happened, we had to give ourselves infinite keys in order to even progress because we opened the door like at the same time and it used all of our keys instead of just one key. They're like, it's fucking horrible. So that was really bad. But so not only can you split up and make it's not only about beating as fast as possible. It is truly about an adventure together. So sometimes me and Colin will literally be like, let's go through each area together, and let's literally, like in Banjo-Kazooie is a really easy one for this because it's like one level at a time. Literally play through the entire level, like not necessarily side by side, but like let's get all the jiggies together and like destroy this level, then we'll go to the next level together. And in that regard, you still get the full experience, like mostly.
Yeah.
Like you're still there while he's getting that jiggy that you've gotten before. So it's not like, okay, but you're also getting this one and doing that. And it's like much more of a cooperative experience. And in the temples in Ocarina of Time, you're literally like let's do this together. Let's kill the Stalfos together. Let's like do all this, progress. And it's just like you're more aware. Even in that regard, it's not necessarily faster, but you're still more aware. You still have a friend to be like, hey, what's next? Like, what are we doing? Okay, let's do this. Follow me, like type of thing. Like we're going to progress together. So it makes it a lot easier. And gameplay is a lot more fun. Not necessarily more fun always, but it is very fun, I should say.
Well, it adds replayability.
It adds replayability. It makes the same game so awesome. 4 hours pass by like that, and you're just like, oh shit, we're like still going. Like I didn't realize it. Like we're just shooting the shit, hanging out. In my opinion, I would not be mad if co-op was at even 2-player co-op, like not even 4 or whatever, or not even online. Maybe like just couch to start off on some 1-player games just to see how the community. And I think it's a great idea to have it like. You have to beat it maybe or unlock it in some way. But for me and a lot of fans, like I feel like if I saw co-op and then main game on a new Zelda game, I still wouldn't touch the co-op until I beat the game because that's just like me. I would want it to be a solo experience.
To me, Zelda is like the exception to the rule of I would rather most games be co-op. Like I generally prefer co-op games. For the most part, like I think they're just more fun.
I do agree.
I both listed our playthrough of Goof Troop as one of our best games of last year, one of our best gaming experiences last year.
Dude, that game's so freaking fun.
Oh yeah.
That's how games used to be because the expectation of couch co-op was there. And you're right. Zelda did not have that. Mario had a 2-player mode, but it was really just a, like
alternating.
And,
it was almost like a
more
competition.
Often than not, you had one player who was way better than the others. You know, I was that guy when I was in elementary school. I would just sit there and run the Super Nintendo into the ground all afternoon, and nobody else would get a chance to play because I never died.
And, that's awesome.
You know, in the levels that I was playing.
I hate people like that.
Yeah, no, I was definitely that guy. And part of that was because I didn't have games at home. And,
of course.
You know, that was my only opportunity to play. But, you know, it's having the 2-player split screen setup, which I guess, like, what do we credit Mario Kart for, like, really
the first split screen game, Chamali. Actually curious now.
We need to fact check on that one.
First screen co-op game. I'm gonna say it's not Mario Kart. I feel like it was even earlier. I feel like it was earlier. Like,
that idea has existed forever.
Certainly
and
a racing
just
game,
went away
right?
when online play became more readily available. Now, sure, there are still couch co-op games out there. Scott Pilgrim is a prime example of that.
Actually, most brawlers that have come out in recent years have been couch co-op only, which is wild to me because
it's so strange to me because
like we live in the day and age where you can do online, and I get it, like maybe trying to encourage that feeling, right? Like there's nothing like, you know, hanging out with your buddy with, you know, some fucking Jones Soda.
It was from 1977. Drag Race was the first split screen.
1977.
That's so old, but regardless, like that's
not Mario Kart.
No,
but you know what I mean, like that feeling of like playing a brawler. Like, you know, I think back to high school. It was like me and my buddy Mark. We'd go down in his basement, drink some Jones Soda, and play Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, Jones Soda.
So like
we went to the arcade and played Street Fighter and Ninja Turtles all day.
Sure, yeah, exactly. And so like I get that maybe that's what they're trying to capture with the local co-op only. But come on, man! Like
we're all in the internet. We are in the internet era right now. It has to be acknowledged that cooperative gaming is a thing. There are solo experiences, but even still, I feel like like Doom even has an online mode, and it's a fantastic solo mode. But the online mode just allows you to take it that much further. And honestly, I barely touch it. I barely touched it when I played those games, but like, still fantastic. And it's just nice to have that. Like Super Mario 3D World remake. Fucking knocked it out of the park. The one that came out in March. Absolutely the correct direction to take fucking Mario, especially Mario.
I just wish
so
that they
many-
did Bowser's Fury the same way with the
You're
co-op.
telling
Right?
me, dude?
That would be
We thought it was
awesome.
co-op. Me and Colin jumped into it, and he's like
Yeah.
Bowser Jr. And we're like, well, this is terrible.
bad.
It's like theoretically co-op, just like how
Yeah.
Mario Galaxy is co-op, and you could be the Starbit guy.
That was me.
Yeah, I'm the Starbit guy. No,
Well, no,
but-
I'd be like working on my homework on the laptop and just waving the Wii
Right there.
remote, like collecting star bits.
yeah, but like
Hilarious.
it showed us with 3D World. I'm using that as a huge crux example because like it just showed us that it is so possible to take a game that even if it wasn't couch co-op, to take it into online co-op and just like that
Yeah.
isn't a huge. You can still play these games alone for sure, but
Oh, absolutely.
add something to it.
It just changes up the experience a little bit, and you
Yeah.
know, I am such a huge fan of co-op games in just as a blanket statement.
Yeah.
We played Chamali and our friend Greg and my friend Jared and I played a competitive board game on our stream the other day, but it's like a light competitive, so you get kind of excited when someone has a big turn, and that mentality translates over from our affinity toward cooperative gaming.
Yeah.
You know, we want to see the biggest turns and the most exciting stuff, and that happens so much more frequently when you're playing cooperatively.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. And I think that like being able to go back and revisit these classic games with that co-op twist to it is
Yeah.
like, pardon the cliche here, but it's a game changer, you know? Like,
I have
Go to
to
bed,
say
Paul, but yes.
the fact that our boys at the Lost Mods were specifically geared towards developing these old school, specifically like late Super Nintendo. It's like mostly N64, some GameCube, some Wii, most of the N64 era. That's like when we were all. This really hits our generation.
Yeah.
That's like when
Yeah.
we were all playing these games solo, praying to have a friend to be able to play with,
Yeah.
and we finally had the homies who were playing Smash 64, Diddy Kong Racing, whatever.
Mhm.
These are those games that we were like, what if I could fucking play Banjo-Kazooie with a friend?
sure.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
these things are finally real for people. For anyone interested in doing this, look up the Lost Mods on Discord and get in touch with these guys. That's really the only way I can recommend, unless you just contact 4Gs right there and say, like, how do I do this? It is very difficult to set up. It is, I'm just going to say, not something you can do on your own. Like,
Right.
it's not. Like, you can fucking try, but there's like 5 people who have successfully modded Banjo-Kazooie, and that's it. And like, it's crazy that this is such small community action for things that are so incredible, and like these games are so polished. I wish we had footage right now because like it feels like, especially Tui, so fucking polished. You feel like you are
Mhm.
playing a better version of the original game, and a lot
Yeah.
of them enhance textures, a lot of them fine tune like controls. They like, you know, like rub out all the bad like graphical bullshit, and like these sometimes I find the seams are even tighter. Like there's less like weird glitchiness around like the seams and stuff. I'm like, wow, this is like they actually made the game better. So these people like N64 people, great. You guys fucking knocked it out of the park in 1996 for sure, but you left it there, and it's obviously not getting revamped because no patchwork or anything. Now we have
Right.
people taking these beloved games and bringing them back to the future. I fucking can't wait. These guys are starting to work on like Wind Waker and other things, and more GameCube into Wii games, and Twilight Princess coming apparently. And I'm just so
Ooh,
excited to see
sick.
where it goes. Yeah, Twilight Princess is gonna be stupid. That's one that the ones that are grueling single player, I'm really excited for in co-op. Because
Sure,
like Twilight
yeah.
Princess has a lot of parts where you're stuck running around as a wolf, and you're like, it'd be great if I had someone else to, you know, run ahead and I can go do that instead, and you
Right.
know, save the grueling parts. And to me, that's like Tui is made into a, not going to say one of my favorite games, but like one of my favorite co-op experiences from a game that I actually didn't even want to play by myself. So like this is a massive 180 to where co-op can actually make it so much more actually enjoyable,
Yeah.
like from scratch. Like go to a game that's like, do I even like this? To a game that's like, I really fucking love this. This is a very enjoyable experience just to be playing with my friends, and make it just like feel like I'm not doing as much legwork even. Like you're just like, we're all helping each other. We're all in the same boat together.
Yeah, for sure. Let's shift
Well, Josh,
gears
we'll
here.
definitely have to check in with you more as you experience these more and more, because
Yes.
this just sounds so much.
Yeah,
this sounds
absolutely.
so
Yeah,
much fun.
Mario Galaxy. We are working on Mario Galaxy and Galaxy 2 right at the current moment are the big ones that we're working on, but it seems very difficult. So stay tuned for that action.
Yeah.
It seemed like we were talking about this like a month ago, but we're working on it. We're working on it. That's a toughie. But
Yeah.
Sweet.
anyway,
Let's shift gears.
Change gears.
Still talking about kind of like the impact certain things have on your gaming experience. You know, we obviously just talked about co-op. Another thing that really changed over the course of the same kind of time period that we're talking, like those you know, those early 2000s and on, is like the rise of voice acting in video games.
Yes.
Right.
And the assumption that it's necessary.
And the assumption that it's necessary.
That's the big thing. Okay. There's a misconception that, there is a vein of gaming that is like movies. That's what people want. They want to play a movie. That's like a huge thing that these fucking game producers are like, yeah, people want it to be like a movie. They want it to be cinematic, blah, blah, blah. So obviously voice work is part of a movie. You know, people talk in movies, right? Now they're thinking it's fucking necessary to do this to the point where it's now in Zelda games that are like comic games. To me, Zelda was always like a graphic novel. I played it and it's like, I make up what everyone sounds like. I hear like, hey, and like, that, and like shit like that. But like,
it's got into Zelda way sooner than I expected.
Yeah, I know. This immediately became another Zelda discussion.
We didn't even finish introducing the topic. Zelda.
Yeah. You finish introducing the topic, then I'll jump all over it. Yeah. Okay.
Well, where I was going with that was like, I think that voice acting has had a huge impact on gaming, both good and bad, right? Yeah, and what we want to talk about here is you know, examples of both. You know, do games need voice acting? Do they not? What's good? What's bad? Does it change, like, you know, the feel of a game completely? Like, let's say you had a game that was, you know, made a long time ago, didn't have voice acting. It was remade and they, you know, decided to jam voice acting into it. I actually do have an example of that, which is
where it's good.
No, well,
okay,
it's good. It's good and bad.
Like
you know, there's parts of the game that I think the voice acting are very good, but other parts that it's not. And that game in particular is Trials of Mana, which, if you don't know what that is, it's the third game in the Secret of Mana series, originally called Seiken Densetsu 3. It's technically Secret of Mana 2. If you know, due to all the weird translation stuff. Anyway, Trials of Mana, it was originally a Super Famicom game, never came out in English, but obviously the you know, talking in the game was all text-based. When they re-released it in English in the Mana bundle or whatever, with the Super Nintendo version, which is cool, but they also did a full remake of the game in 3D, and it's excellent, if you ask me. But it's fully voice acted, and I would say probably like 70% of the voice acting is fantastic. That's
impressive.
The other, you know, 30% is fucking awful. It's absolutely terrible. So particularly, there's one character that if you pick her, it like ruins the game. So like, because she's just so irritating to listen to. Charlotte, it's so bad. But I think that game it's funny because I think it's a good example of both, like why voice acting can be good and why it can be bad, you know. So that's pretty unique. But there's obviously other examples. I think first of all we should say, like, do all games need voice acting? Let's answer that question.
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not.
Well, but
I will go as far as to say most do not. Most do not need voice acting.
That is a bold statement, Josh.
Bold, I know, but
I don't disagree with it.
Yeah, it's very bold. I would say that there is a line. There's types of games. Yeah. Okay, Batman, Arkham, whatever. You know, like I expect
I need my Kevin Conroy.
I need to hear Batman. I need to know that I'm that immersed. It's weird because it's almost like, why can't that game have voice acting? And it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but we've always had a voice for Batman and other games like that. Final Fantasy, the 3D open world RPG versions, it feels like these are really human characters with real personalities. I want to hear their voices. Right. It's like one of those things. Yes. Zelda, a game that has always been text-based, a game that you use your own imagination and hear a little blip of their voice, and that's enough. Just like Mario, woohoo! Like even Mario talks a little bit sometimes. These are games that do not...
Mario Sunshine, the intro to that with Peach talking, it's fucking unbearable.
oh, I'm dumb as fuck.
So unbearable.
The dumbest Peach ever is in Sunshine,
Yeah.
period. I don't know who let that voice actor get through,
Oh,
but
it's awful.
yeah. So like Mario will be like, oh, let's go, like, and shit like that, and you're like, oh, here we go, and shit like that, and you're like, okay, that's cool. Like, he has catchphrases. He's a guy. I know what his voice sounds like, but he's not like, my name is Mario, and we're about to play a game. Here we go.
Right.
Let's play the game. Press the A button, and like shit like that, and you're like, that's too far. Now we're conversing with our main character in games that should. Mario's not even a text-based game
Sure.
really, but Zelda.
So
it makes no
And
sense
the
to have voice
difference is,
acting.
and the difference is like Link is a caricature.
Exactly. Link is he's not a like this like Batman figure. He's supposed to be
Right.
you. He's supposed to be like this hero that you embody. For him to sound like anything takes away from yourself. Like to hear
Yeah.
how Zelda sounds, even like she's this like princess, like to save whatever in your mind, and you're like, okay, like this is how I want her to be. And then when you like see her talk, you're like, this isn't the character I
it's not
depicted.
right.
This is not
Right.
the character I want. It's kind of
And
like when they take a graphic novel and turn it into a movie. In my opinion, like it's similar to that, where like they're sometimes good, but sometimes you're like, that's not how I thought this person would sound. This is ruining the
So-
entire thing for me.
Here's a question. Why is it different would you agree that Sora from Kingdom Hearts is also a caricature?
I would agree, but then he's allowed to talk, so
He's allowed to
that
talk.
may be
I don't
because
Here's
agree.
what I think.
I
Here's
don't
what I
agree
think.
with that.
The
No.
Disney
think it should
characters
be
that
text-based.
surround Sora in the Kingdom Hearts franchise have all been voiced forever.
all been voiced. Yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
almost forever.
50 years. Yeah,
Yeah, a good chunk of time. Obviously, in the original, and this is actually interesting because in the original Mickey Mouse cartoon, Plain Crazy, and in Steamboat Willie and all those old school ones, Mickey Mouse
there
didn't have
was
a voice.
no talking. Yeah,
It was once he became
Nothing had talking back then.
well
There were
correct. but
talkies.
that's-
That was
some
before-
talkies.
no, that was pre-talkies. That was-
Talkies. Oh, okay.
This was
so- and
pre-talkie.
it was all done with sound effects.
Yeah.
So, at what point in the evolution of Mickey Mouse did we give him a voice?
Okay.
And I bet you it's the same.
Fantasia.
No,
About
it was pre-Fantasia.
that was like 49.
I know,
Really?
but did he have a
Pre-Fantasia?
voice in Fantasia?
Yeah, he talked to the conductor.
to
I
the
just watched it
conductor. That's
recently.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, we
Oh,
had
Mickey.
we had. I
Jamali
mean,
was the first Mickey voice.
We're
Anyway.
on a huge rabbit trail right here. Let's get back to video games. No one gives a shit.
Getting there. We're sewing it together. We're sewing it together.
Let
Basically,
me.
what he's getting. Yeah, you go.
No, this is going off the rails. So I think where Zach was going with this was why is going from Final Fantasy, which was a text-based game, then going to using voice acting any different from
Yeah.
Zelda, right?
Yeah.
And I think we've kind of answered part of that question, which is in Final Fantasy #1, you're playing a party of characters, and you're not necessarily playing a caricature of yourself, right?
Right.
You're
Yeah.
playing,
You're not playing the hero. You're playing Ching Chong or
characters
whatever
with
his
very
name is.
unique identities and
Terrible.
like histories and lived experience in that world, right?
Mhm.
Whereas Link is just kind of like, yeah, he's kind of a shell of a character, really. There's not like a lot of depth to Link as a
Don't even know his
character.
favorite
visually,
color.
it
Because-
allows your imagination to run wild with it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right. And I
And
think that's yeah.
That's where I was going with Mickey Mouse as well. Is
Sure.
once his costume got updated so that you were able to imagine more about that character, about his daily life, then giving him a voice made sense.
Yes.
But Link
that
has
actually
never.
is true.
Link has
Also,
never
they
be-
made talkies.
They made talk, so they wanted to bank on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the point is still the same.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Link has never evolved beyond that. Or
Yeah.
he's always had that ability to let your imagination go
Yeah.
crazy with it. Same with
Well,
Mario.
and to be fair, Link still doesn't talk in the new Zelda
Correct.
games. The other
I
characters
will-
do.
I will honestly debate continuing buying new Zelda games when he does. I will like literally be
Mhm.
on the fence at
That's
that
going
point.
to be a thought.
If that's how real it is, and like making a Zelda show is the same for me. There are
Mhm.
some characters, dude, Mario. It's every time he talks in a movie, show, any of that shit, like Mario the movie, Mario the cartoon show. These are abominations. As
Mario
much as we
teaches typing.
Mario teaches, I love that game. No
That
one knows
game's
what I'm
great.
talking about when I talk about that game, but
I know.
Dude,
We
I
all
use that
know.
with my students.
these are games like the Mario Bros. Movie is a cult classic, but it's an
Mhm.
abomination that they talk. Let's be real here. Mario
Right.
is barely getting a few words out, but it still feels like you're playing with this playful character that like your imagination can kind of fill in. Like Mario's this awesome hero. He's so badass. He's still like a goofy looking plumber, but he's hardcore. Like you don't need words to like fill in how Mario is. It's like he's fucking awesome. Like so it's just there's just like a way. Nintendo really stands out with this in being able to emphasize that. Samus, great example too. Like they're really good at creating characters that don't need to say anything. You see them and you see them in action for 1 second, like Samus like blowing this guy's head off.
Specifically
like,
about Samus, like one of like the hallmarks of the mainline Metroid series is subtext. Like they do a lot with subtext, and they're able. It's really incredible what they've done in those games, being able to convey a pretty deep story without any dialogue, like not even text dialogue. You know. They do a really good job of that just through like subtext in the game, and like that's something that's fascinating, which is why Other M felt so jarring, right? Other M inserted not only voice acting but voice for your main character, voice for all the other characters, like a weird convoluted story and like relationships that like you don't really fucking need or want from a Zelda or from a Metroid game. Like that's that
and they definitely tried to shoehorn in an actress that could sound that grizzled. You
said you were going to talk about the actress. Let's go down that.
So I looked her up. It's Jessica Aaron Martin, and all of her credits on IMDb are just like one-off bit parts in TV series where she just plays that type of character,
like robots.
No, well, like just cranky, doesn't talk much, grizzled veteran type. Video game,
war torn, whatever,
war torn, and it's like, like very clearly that's what they were like forcing on you, where it feels forced.
It does.
It doesn't feel natural because it's not what's in our head.
Right.
The Samus in my head doesn't even talk. Like the Samus in my head doesn't say shit. I'm like, yo, she doesn't even need to say anything. She's killing people left and right. Who needs to talk to her? She'll read your communication.
I can imagine her saying like "fuck" in her helmet a couple of times.
Fuck.
Shit. Just like
yeah.
Right.
But
like you said,
but like to
so
herself, like she's just saying that to herself. She's not like
I wouldn't mind that. But like, there's so much lore and subtext in these games that it's like the need for her to be like, hey, there's a new creature I haven't seen before. Obsolete, because you just scan the creature, you read what it is, it gives you more ideas of the biomes you're in. You read lore on the walls, you see like the ancient Chozo statues and shit, and you're like, oh, this is like an ancient like whatever. Like, oh, this I feel what's going on here. Zelda does that very well as well, and Mario even too, where you're just like more goofy, but like in that same vein,
Well, the voice acting puts you in a specific headspace. So, like,
it does.
I think about our classic silent protagonists. So I'm talking your Samus, your Gordon Freeman, your Chell from Portal. Valve obviously does this really, really well. They put you in a specific mood. It's not abject terror, like your Five Nights at Freddy's kind of thing, but it adds a level of suspense. And Valve does a great job with this. They realize that, you can have a silent protagonist for your story games, your Half-Life, your Portal. But as soon as you get into your cooperative experience, your Left 4 Dead, you have to have the protagonist talk, but not much. They need to say the bare bones minimum.
Come this way.
Pills here. Just real short blips.
That's true. I like that. I like that. Yeah.
And even in the cutscenes,
before we just Go ahead. Sorry.
Even in the cutscenes, they're still not saying a whole lot. The dialogue is just what's needed to get in and out, down and dirty, done.
Yeah. So before we just like totally shit on voice acting in video games, I think there's plenty of games that do voice acting really well. One of those games is the new Ratchet and Clank.
Yep.
Fantastic. Like every single StarCraft. Sure. Yeah. What I love about Ratchet and Clank is like, and every single person on the planet has been saying this, like, so I hate to just sound like, I'm parroting everyone else, but like the game really feels like you're playing a Pixar movie. And part of that is it has nothing to do with how it looks. It's the voice acting. The voice acting is very cartoonish. It's very funny and it's very good, and it really does bring you into the experience. It really does like tie everything together. If this game was like silent or text based or whatever, it would not have the same feel. And you
Right.
know, like I think it really adds to the experience, and especially because it's done well. You know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
if it was shitty voice acting, it would be a whole nother story. You know, but
Mhm.
like that's something that's key, and I think that other games that did that well are like the I know Josh disagrees with me on this, but
I
the
can't
God
believe
of
you're about to say this. Oh, never mind. I thought you were gonna say Breath of the Wild. I was about to like
the God of
cry.
War remake. No. The Breath of the Wild
The voice acting is
acting's
great.
awful.
Breath
I
of
love
the
how we
Wild.
all
That,
thought he was going to go somewhere different. You thought he was going to say Breath of the Wild. I thought he was going to say Conquer, and he went with God of War.
Hilarious.
some of the
I
worst
think-
voice some games should be text based for sure.
That's
Oh
funny.
my
So
God.
here's the thing. Well, first of all, the God of War stuff, fantastic. The voice
I
acting,
actually
that's
think
amazing.
the voice acting was spot on in
Yeah.
that game.
It is
I thought that
absolutely
was like
spot
the
on.
best feature of the game.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, fair. And I actually do like the voice acting in Conquer, but not necessarily because it's good.
Not the original.
No, I kind of like it in spite of itself.
Yes,
I hate it.
it's
The
really more
original is
that. Yeah.
ass. It's
So I don't
terrible.
think the original, like the problem, the reason
One
it
guy
sounds
voiced
really bad.
everything.
Yep.
Yeah, which I think is incredible, actually.
That's cool.
Because that
really
guy,
actually
like,
very
despite like whether or not you like the voice acting, the guy shows incredible range.
You did, yeah.
But also, you know, in the original, they had to fit so much dialogue onto a Nintendo 64 cartridge, so like it's ultra compressed and it doesn't
Yeah.
sound great. In the remaster, it
Yeah.
actually sounds a lot better.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I think it's
bet,
fun.
yeah.
I think it has a definite charm to it. It's still not great, but I
Yeah.
don't think the game would be the same without it. You know,
I get
like the
that.
Great and Mighty Pooh song. Come on, dude.
That I
You
just
know?
went through my head. I was like,
Yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot about that bit.
It's
Ah.
fantastic.
I
You know?
the great.
Yeah.
That's a great
So
song.
like, you know, there's definitely like really good examples of voice acting in video game. I certainly think it has its place, but it can ruin games too. You
It
know.
absolutely can. But at the same time, like I'm thinking about when games go out of their way to hire big names. So, Josh, you mentioned Arkham. They hired Kevin Conroy
yes.
and Mark Hamill, the Batman and the Joker.
Flawless
Undisputed.
choice.
They
Choice
hired
great.
Arlene Sorkin and then Tara Strong to play Harley Quinn. Brilliant.
That's amazing.
Absolutely
yeah.
perfect
That's how you
casting.
do it.
Yes
But
and
what if,
no.
There's a war.
what if one of them wasn't? What if one of them was not the right cat? That's what I'm
So
saying.
when
How
they
much would it
switched
take you out?
Harleys, when they switched
Ah.
Harleys, it was very noticeable. Like Tara Strong
Very
is a good
jarring.
Harley. She's not Arlene Sorkin.
Yeah. No.
And then in Origins, they didn't have Conroy and Hamill,
Ah,
and it was noticeable.
that's
It
fucked
didn't
up.
ruin the game.
Actually hates
Well,
to
so
say that.
there's a reason for it. Hamill was in
Ah.
retirement, and they were both working on Arkham Knight at the same time.
Oh, that's a pretty
Yeah.
good excuse.
So that's and it's fine. It's also Origins is an origin story. I get it. They can sound a little bit younger. Not a big deal.
It
Fine.
is always
It
jarring
didn't
when I
have
watch
to.
a Batman cartoon and it's not Conroy.
It's not Kevin
If it's
Conroy.
not
Drives
Conroy,
me
I'm like,
insane.
why am I watching
when
this?
it's like I don't know, Alan Tudyk or something like that. It's like no,
Yeah.
that's
When does
no.
Alan Tudyk play Batman?
I just picked up a name. I'm
Oh,
not sure if he
yeah.
ever does.
He'd be the
Um,
goofiest Batman ever.
Yeah, no
yeah,
kidding.
it'd be weird. I can see him as like the Flash. I think he does like play either Green Lantern or the Flash or something
I
like
could
that.
see him doing
But,
I can see
Flash.
that. I can see him
Yeah.
doing the Flash. Yeah.
yeah, but regardless, like you could hire like a John DiMaggio
Yeah.
to play a Batman, but it would be incredibly jarring.
Yeah.
And part of that is John DiMaggio is Marcus Phoenix.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
You're like, wait,
oh,
that's a
here's the
different
thing.
character. Yeah.
They tried to recast Marcus Phoenix using Dave Bautista,
That doesn't make any sense.
both
Mm.
as the voice and the physical
Wait,
model.
I think he's gonna be when
He
they make
wants
a
to be.
movie. He
He
wants to be.
but
This is
it's
one of those
in
things where
development now.
famous people from
So,
Marvel
time out,
Universe are
though.
like, I
Why
want to
would
play
they-
this role.
Yeah,
Like,
why would they have like superimposed him
Just
into
'cause
the
they
game if
decided
they
it would be
weren't gonna
fun.
do him as Marcus Phoenix in the movie?
It was
They
a
maybe
publicity
weren't-
stunt.
They
Basically,
maybe weren't. Yeah.
when Gears 5 dropped, they put Bautista in as a playable skin for Marcus.
Oh,
just as
gotcha.
like, and they did Terminator as well,
Oh,
T1000,
gotcha.
and it was like, okay, this is fine and cute and whatever. Give me back my John DiMaggio, please.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
he has always been Marcus Phoenix. I mean, the earliest one I've got here is Gears 2, but like Marcus Phoenix is John DiMaggio.
Yeah.
End of story.
This is something that the newer generation might just heavily disagree with us on, because like newer people are like, what are you talking about? My first Zelda game had voice acting in it. That's how I like it. I like that Zelda talks and shit. It makes me want to die just saying the sentence right now. But like, we are the old schools. We've played most of the series that we're talking about without, or maybe with, in a certain way. Like imagine all the Final Fantasies. Yeah, imagine all the Final Fantasies did have voice acting, and all of a sudden they don't now. Now it's kind of the same thing, in my opinion, where I'm like, why is no one talking? Like, wait, what? What the fuck is happening here? Like,
here's the thing. Here's the one thing. I do think there's plenty of games that you could remove the voice acting. Not all games, but there are plenty. Like, for instance, Ratchet and Clank, I don't think you could remove the voice acting and have the same experience.
No, I don't think
but most Final Fantasy games, I definitely think you could remove the voice acting and still have the same experience.
Or cut it down to just like the little blips that we hear
like
from
minimal
Mario
stuff.
Zelda.
Yeah.
I am not opposed to. I think it's a graceful way to do it. Okay, there's like a few different types. There's the one where they never stop talking, and that can be the frustrating type.
Yeah.
Or if it's really well done, you're like, cool. I like how immersive this is. Like Dark Souls, kind of like. Well, you hear a lot of text in that, but they talk too, kind of. That's not a good example. But then there's other games where it's like only in the cutscene. Like that's how Breath of the Wild, Pokemon Snap, and a few others do it. I think that's the sweet spot, actually. Like. Where you like feel the characters and then you like go into the regular and you're like, okay, now I'm reading text. I don't have to worry about them talking all of a sudden. Like it still feels like a Zelda game in these moments. But then the cutscene comes and I'm like, hit or miss. Like it's really like a time to portray the voices.
So are we saying it comes down to writing?
I think it might. I think that the voice choice is humongous. I think that the creators taking consideration, like using the actual Batman and Joker, like using the actual people. That's a thought they had. They're not just like, okay, see who fits the role. Like, no, they're like, we need real Batman. We need the real Joker. This is going to be a real game. We're not fucking around here. And then there's like Zelda. They're like, that guy looks like he'll play the king well. As soon as he spoke, I wanted to kill myself. But like, I was like, so this isn't well thought out. There's like voices that are like not well thought out.
I think Zelda's in particular is the worst in that.
Zelda. The only reason that the king freaked me out is because he's the first one I heard, and like he mispronounces everything, or maybe that's how they're pronouncing things nowadays. Zelda is the worst voice actor in the fucking history of gaming. Close to it.
Here
it's like,
we are again, folks. We're trashing on Breath of the Wild.
You take a character that's supposed to be like kind of melodramatic and intense, and you have this vision for her, and she's a powerful, like this like unknown being, mystery, and all this stuff, and you make her a whiny ass child. Her voice says it all. You don't even have to see her. You know how fucking annoying and bratty and that she's a kid in this game.
Like it just ruins my concept. Like let's talk 100%. About Ocarina of Time, Zelda. Like and when she's a girl, like you think, okay, maybe she's frail and whatever, but she really isn't, innocent. And she definitely proves that like through being like chic and
I was gonna say spoiler alert,
everything else. Dude, it's a 20-year-old game. Like there's no spoilers. Come on.
Imagine she spoke and Sheik sounds like, "Hi, I'm Sheik." And you're just like, "Oh, what the fuck? You're supposed to be awesome." This like turned my vision into Zelda up to be a badass. You're like, Zelda's a badass just because this is how they portrayed her. There's some things that words can't accomplish that visuals and text can. Like a simple sentence, like the first time you meet Sheik at the Temple of Time, she's like past, present, future, like the flow of time.
Though I honestly do think if the voice acting was better and the writing was better in that game, it would have been fine. I think it would have been passable. I think you can do it, and I think that there's plenty of games that prove it. I just think that they didn't do a good job of it with that game in particular, and that's really huge misstep on Nintendo's part.
Very big for one of your biggest franchises ever. But so casting is massive. They have to feel like you need to like look at the character, feel the person, and like just if that doesn't work, then this is not going to work already. Then the writing has to be taken seriously, and that's really it. Like, and then you have to consider like, does this even fit in the game? Like. But I feel like a lot of games, they shit out voice acting because it's almost easier than putting all this text in. They literally just like make a character's mouth movie like, and then just like stick a fucking track in there instead of adding all this dialogue into the game. I don't know what's easier, but like, I assume voice acting is easy to an extent.
Voice acting can be expensive.
It can be expensive, I assume, but
Especially when you look into the fact that they have to localize it in multiple different countries.
Right.
You're not only paying one set of voice actors, you're paying another set of voice actors in each country, depending on what country they're in. Like when you do like the American, the US voice tracks, you're probably paying some, like pretty expensive actors.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you want good
Big
voice
ones.
acting.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah,
then
and
there's
I'm sure,
there's like it saves time a lot of times to have voice acting. I notice like how often are you you're listening to what they're saying and it has the words at the bottom and you're like, okay, I'm done. Can you fucking stop talking already? I'm done. You're still talking. Like as opposed to like Paper Mario, for example, massive amount of dialogue in this game. Not one word is spoken. And it's amazing. And you can read at your own pace and you can consume the dialogue as you see fit. That's why I think that dialogue has a slight edge over voice acting, is because you can consume at your own pace. And voice acting, it's shoving their idea into your head. It's like, we have a full idea for the game, and this is how we want you to perceive it. And to me, that's why text-based will always have an edge, because you perceive it.
Yeah, I don't know that I 100% agree with that. I think it certainly has its place, particularly in RPGs. Particularly in RPGs.
Yes, I will say RPGs are the place. Yes, I agree. But less so in games where the hero is enigmatic and you're like more like, oh yeah, I'm this guy. Like this is awesome. I love my hero. This is awesome. Like much less than that. You want text. You don't want your guy to say shit like Samus. And yeah, we kind of talked about a lot of it.
Yeah, we've talked about a lot of it. Yeah, I think to round it up, there's like that kind of squares it.
I think it squares it
pretty much.
This is
there.
a really
Is
deep
that
one. Like
that's a pretty big topic. Yeah,
I would be willing to talk more about this on Discord
That'd be
this
cool.
week.
Sure, yeah. All I was gonna say, just to kind of round off the thing, it certainly has its place. RPGs are a good place for it, but when it comes down to like the artistic vision of what those what that studio wanted to make you feel, I mean, there's certainly a ton of examples where it's definitely beneficial to have that voice acting. And it wouldn't be accomplished the same otherwise. I think it really just boils down to what the vision of that game was and what they wanted you to feel.
Agreed.
So but yeah, I think that was good. Let's end it there, guys. We've definitely gone over this week, which is fine. That was fun. If you're watching the show live on my channel, that's where you're at. You're here, Ryugami-san. It's my Twitch channel. I stream on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Right now I'm playing through Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. And then on Saturdays, we always play a samurai game. It's Samurai Saturday, which is a lot of fun. Then obviously here on Sunday nights, we've got the podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, please share it with your friends if you enjoy it. If not, I guess don't. But
please share.
Yeah,
please share our thing.
Share the damn thing.
Pieces of shit.
Well, don't call them pieces of shit.
Don't call them that, Josh.
Awesome.
You're not pieces of shit. You're awesome.
We love you. We love you.
Unless you're into that. I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, then if you want to yell at me on Twitter, you can. It's Ryugami-sama on Twitter. And that's where you can find me. Josh, where can we find you? I got a cat attacking me right now. Hold on.
Oh, shit. Oh, Kitty got so big.
Kitty.
Yeah, he's getting big, isn't he?
Oh, wow. Lord Yeshua and Lord Yeshua TTV on all of my socials. I thought you were just going to like toss them arbitrarily behind you. I will be streaming soon. I don't even fucking know. Get ready for it.
Cool. I like it.
Where we can find you, Zach?
I'm on Twitch on Thursday night and Saturday night this week. Another Letdown is my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/another letdown. Thursday, we will be continuing Batman Arkham Knight, probably wrapping up a few side quests that I've started. And Saturday, back to miniatures painting. That'll be good. Nice, and I might stream other times too if I'm bored.
Sweet. So. Perfect.
And then I'm on Twitter at DENONCZD.
Excellent.
Get Mario Golf.
Get Mario Golf.
Everybody.
All right, we'll check it out. All right. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time. Have a good night. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.